Today I will cover the break of structure supply and demand strategy, how you can use the break of structure to your advantage when looking for those supply and demand zones. So I'm on the EURUSD on a 4-hour time frame, and let's just remove this indicator off. We don't need that on. And I'll go through just understanding how you use the break of structure technique to find your supply and demand zones. Let's go back in price a bit. Let's start off around this area, okay? So what you're looking for is the market to show you that directional bias. So from down here, okay, we can identify and mark this off a break of structure. Now let me just mark this off as a 4-hour structure. So we can see we have this break of structure upside. Now let's go closer into this area. When we see a break of structure like this, let's mark it off. We're going to create an area of demand. Now we also create areas of imbalances as well, but that is a completely different type of trading. This is all about the break of structure with the supply and demand. Now, of course, if you want to learn more on imbalances, there is a full playlist on this channel. I do suggest going through and watching the full playlist from the first video to the end. Every single video has been created to help you in your trading. So for an area of demand here, we look for what we call the last sell to buy move. You already understood this by going through the previous video in this playlist. And of course, if you haven't been through those videos already, stop this video right here, go back, watch the first videos first, and then carry on watching this video. So we can see from here that we can mark this down from this last sell to buy move. Now our class is the last sell to buy move for me is where the market creates the origin. Okay, so this is the origin move where we create the last sell candle when we buy up to break this structure. And that is all we're looking at really. Now we also have this move here within this area, which is a sell to buy move. Now this is what I class as the last sell to buy move, which is that rally based rally. Now, if you're not sure on that, go and watch the rally-based rally, drop-based drop video. It will teach you all about how to understand those concepts. Now, again, if you haven't seen that video, which hopefully you already have and you understand the concepts, it was the video before this video in the playlist. So if you're on this video and you haven't watched those other videos, you can finish watching this video first, but make sure you go back and watch the previous videos. So we can see that this is also an area of demand that holds price. If we look what happened here, we can see that the market rallied out, we broke this structure high, and then we pull back into the demand and we continue to move to the upside. So it doesn't matter whether you're using what I class as the origin zone, and the origin zone is this zone right here. And zoom back out, we'll be able to see this better. So we have this as our origin zone. Okay, this is our new swing high that broke structure here. It's our last lower high, because we had this market pulling down. This is our last low, broke structure, we pull back and we continue to go lower. So once we understand this concept, this is where you're going to draw out your areas of demand. And it's down here you can look for your entries. Now I'm not going to go into the entries too much in this video. We'll do other videos going through entries, but there is an easy entry here. Then we look for the market to continue to run this high, which is going to be another break of structure to the upside. Now, of course, that will leave a new area of demand. There's also going to be a weak high. And when we're taking an entry down here, and just to give you a clue, this arrow is going to show you a perfect entry. We can target this high. And you can see that from this area, we went all the way up and we broke structure to leave a new area of demand. So how do we do the demand again? We look for the lowest point in this move. So the lowest point is this bearish candle. That's our lowest low. And from this candlestick, we look for the last sell to buy move. It's going to be from the highest candle to the low. And we mark this out as our area of demand. Now, there's a reason why we use the last sell to buy move, because anywhere in between this high and the low of this candle is where we can see the market react off. Now, we can refine these zones, especially this one here. We can refine this down to the open price. That's how I normally would look at refining my zones. Again, here you can refine this zone down here as well, but you can see the market doesn't come back to that area. Now, if we mark it off from the high, we do come back to the top of that zone. Now, it's not just this. This is our origin zone of demand once again, and this is our rally-based rally zone where we can see that price comes back into as well. So you can see how those zones will work together. And we also have here an area of imbalance, which also held price, but we're not going to go into imbalances. You need to go and watch the playlist after this playlist. So after that, we have another entry down here. And again, we see the market break structure once again. So once we break structure, we look to draw our new zone. Now, this is our current low. This means this is our current area of demand. Now, all what's happened here is that we broke up, we wicked this high, swept it, pulled back into this demand, and then rallied out again. That means we have this as our rally-based rally zone, okay, of demand. And you can see price comes back in. Now, again, if we refine that to this candle, we wouldn't get an entry. So you can see the importance of understanding the last sell to buy move here. Now, when we get to the bearish side, you'll see it's the last buy to sell move. So again, once again, we look for the market to want to continue higher to break that structure. We have a nice sweep here, the market, a nice bullish pin engulfing. That is another perfect entry candle, and we break structure. So where do we look for our zone? Once again, this is our low. So our demand zone is from the high of this candle to the low of this candle. And you can see we wick back in and we push out once again, and we break structure once again to the upside. So you can see the last sell to buy on this one. Now, if you're thinking it's this candle here, then you're incorrect. This is our last sell to buy move. Okay, because it's the lowest low at that point. That's what becomes our area. So again, we break structure. Look where the price came back to. Now we can mark off this high. We break structure once again. So our last area of demand would be here. And you can see the market breaks through. That now means we have a market structure shift, a break of structure to the downside. Now, of course, if you don't understand market structure, then you need to watch the playlist on market structure. Again, it's on the homepage of this channel, and you'll be able to go through how to read market structure, use of multiple time frames, the use of the internal and swing structure is all important. So here we come back down into this area of demand. Now, we're not looking essentially now for a buy of this demand, but we're looking for a reaction of this demand to push price higher. And that's what's happened here. We come into this demand zone to push price higher. Now, this demand will remove because it's been removed, and we look for our area of supply. On this occasion, this became the supply zone. This is our area of supply. This is our last buy to sell move. But on the way down, we did make this very small base drop. Now, it's not a zone that I'm going to look to draw. It's too small for me. Okay, but we do have an area of imbalance here. I'm just going to draw it quickly so you can see what I'm talking about. We have this area left over imbalance. That is where price came to the 50% to hold to push back down. Again, the imbalance playlist will help you with that. So expecting price to break structure again, we do break structure once again, and we're looking for that area of supply. There's our current high. This becomes our last buy to sell move. Okay, once again, we can see the market comes back up inside this area of supply. We have here what we class a sweep inside. Hey traders, we'll get back to the video in just a moment, but I wanted to give you a gift for hanging out with me today. I want to give you access to my Telegram community. This trading community will share my chart markups and give you access to my trading strategy. But it's more than just a community. You're going to have some actionable steps to accelerate your growth with hanging out with other like-minded traders, all looking to improve their trading. And it's free as my gift to you. So just hit the link above now to join the Telegram community. Now back to the video. That's a sweep inside supply. We expect price to run the week low. Where does the market go? But look what happens this time. This is how we understand we're not drawing an area of supply here. The reason for this, we never had a break through this low. We only swept it. And this final sweep of the low and this low once again on this candle indicates to me we're going bullish. And that this area here of supply is likely to fail. And we also know this area never actually got quite to price, but came very close as we came off this area of imbalance. So once again, what we're looking for now is a reversal back to the upside. That's a break of structure here. So if we're looking for a break of structure there, where do we draw areas of demand? Well, this is our low. So this would be our last area of demand. In fact, maybe that this candle may be lower. There's not much in it. Okay, but that would be our area of demand. You can see we have this breakout retest continuation. We also have an area of demand that we draw here. Okay, inside that demand zone, this is the rally. So there's your like rally, base rally. And of course, we have this area of demand here that we can draw. Okay, the price unfortunately didn't quite come in, but again, we have an area of imbalance where price did come in. So this is the breakout. We have another breakout here. What does that leave me? That leaves me this sell to buy move again now. Okay, the market does come back in and we have an entry to go higher. Now we have a sweep of this low. So on a lower time frame, you're going to find an entry here on perhaps a 15-minute. So you can see how the market continues to show you those areas of supply and demand, and how simple it is when you understand the breaker structure supply and demand strategy. Now this video is ready to teach you the concept, finding and marking out those zones of supply and demand quickly. Now, if you want to see more videos on how we look at the strategies with supply and demand, give me a thumbs up to let me know that's what you want to see more of. And you can drop a comment to tell me what you would like to see. Okay, that's what I'd like to hear from you, what sort of videos you want to see. So again, we continue up off this area. Now we don't have a actual pullback. We have this as an area of demand. But after that, we don't really have another pullback until, I would say, this swing high. We have a final break to the upside. So look, we don't pull back to area of demand, but you can see we push through here of this swing high. We obviously have this low in the market. We have a sweep. We push through. And because it's the low here, we break structure back to downside. But at that point, this became my area of demand, okay, until it's broken. Now it's broken on this bullish candle when we wick through. Now it could also look like it's going to be a sweep and we continue higher. When we have these reversals, this is the point you're going to start losing in the market. Now there's nothing you can do about it. You have to take that loss, pick yourself up, and go with the next direction of the market. It's all part of doing business. Too many traders out there do not look at trading as a business. Now, of course, if you want to start learning to trade like this as a business, I do suggest checking out that trading coaching experience. You want to find out more, then there will be a link in the description of this video. So here, what do we see? We have a break of structure. That comes from this swing high. So now we're looking for the last buy to sell move. That is that move there of supply. Let's remove this demand zone. Okay, and let's remove this sweep level so we don't get mixed up. So that's the area of supply. You can see very, very close there, nearly came in. But on the way down, what do we have? We have a drop, base drop, area of supply. Okay, and again, another drop, base drop, area of supply. So you can see how you could easily call an entry here. Then after that, what do we look for? We look for the next break structure. Okay, let's move across. So we can see we break through here. We create the next area of supply here. Okay, where we have our last buy to sell move. Okay, we continue with that bearish movement. Where's our next breakout on that candle? So we mark off from this. Let's just check where the swing high is. Okay, so the high is this candle here. Because that is the high of the move, I will use these two candles to the high of that candle to mark up my area. Now, look what happened here. We actually swept this high. And let's go closer into price here. So we're reading the candle by candle movement. We have a swing low. We have another breakout. That means we have this is our last area. It's more like a drop, base drop. So it is a breakout. It's a valid pullback and a valid breakout. Okay, so the market does come back and holds that. We then have another swing breakout and we have another buy to sell move. So at this point, we're still looking for sells here. The market then fails to run lower off this towards this weak low. Okay, and we break through eventually on this move up here. So if I remove this area of supply, we can then draw from here a break of structure, which then creates this last sell to buy move area of demand. So at this point, it's going to get very, very confusing on where the market's likely to want to go. Let me just remove this level. So we now have an area of demand here. We have this area of supply. This area of supply, well, we reacted off this supply and then eventually we broke through, removed it. And then we've only wicked through this supply. Now that does remove the supply zone for me. Okay, but what we do have here is this sweep of this high. Now, it's going to be very hard to look to take a trade here because what we've then got is the area of demand below. Potentially, we're looking for a buy to go long. Now, it all depends on what we're seeing on the higher time frames here. We need to look at higher time frames, multiple time frames with supply and demand, how you can really look to understand this. Now, there are videos in other playlists. We go through multiple time frames with the use of market structure. It's a great video. But if you want to see a video in this playlist where we go through multiple time frames, understanding supply and demand, then leave that comment and let me know that's what you want to see. So again, we then break down, okay, from this point, we have another reversal to the downside. This is a very complex area here, but I wanted you really to understand what is happening. And yes, you could have losing trades here. On lower time frames, you could get some little wins, and we could look for buy. We may have a losing trade. But look at the way the market's just pushed down. Not likely to find an entry there. So here we can see we break through. This is our last buy to sell move. Okay, we don't really come back to it. What do we have here? We have an imbalance zone where the market does react off. So once again, we pull back and we break this structure to downside. Now this would then be, this is the swing high. You could say this is the full zone where the market's coming back to. You could also refine that to the last candle like this as well. But you need to understand this is the full zone. So we mark that across. We do wick through. Now all that's doing, okay, is going into that zone which we never went into. Okay, so we wicked through. We've swept that high. Yes, we removed this area of supply, but it's not what, hopefully you're understanding, it's not a breakout. So we can look to sell from here and we target the week low down here. That would have been an awesome trade, okay? Understanding what's going on in the market. Just because we're in a sideways range doesn't mean we're going to reverse and go bullish. Now, yes, we broke out here. And yes, we have a base drop area of supply here as well. But like I've always said from the beginning, the origin zones are your best zones to be trading from. But you can also look at those base drop, base ready zones as well. But you need to have the best location. So we break structure once again. Here's the downside. This is our main origin zone. And yes, we do have an area inside. And we also have this base drop zone there where the market does react off, okay, and continues lower. So that point it did work, the base drop. We broke structure once again. Okay, and then we have this as our high. So this becomes our next area. You can see the market reacts off and we push lower again. Okay, so you can see how simple this is. We break structure once again. We look for the last buy to sell move. Okay, the market comes straight back in. And do we break it? Okay, we don't break the zone. We wick through, we don't close through. So it's not a break structure. So what is it now? It's a sweep. Okay, now this is all about understanding liquidity in the market. And there is a playlist coming in this channel for liquidity. Now there is a video already out, so if you want to learn more about the liquidity sweeps and the runs, go and watch that video after this playlist if you want as well. That'll teach you about liquidity. Now all this is doing is wicking through this high, going into this area of supply above. Okay, so then what do we have? We have another break of structure here to downside. Now I do hope you're enjoying this video so far. It's giving you some great education. That's the whole point of these videos, to teach you the concepts of supply and demand, imbalances, market structure, okay, and liquidity in the market. That's all you need to be successful to read these charts. And again, that we break through just on that little bearish candle really. So you could say it's nearly another breakthrough there. And that would give us this movement here. And again, that we remove the supply, but all we're doing is sweeping this high. Now, what are we sweeping into? This area of imbalance. That's why everything works together. You can't just trade with one concept, okay? That's why there's separate playlists to teach you each concept, and then you can put them all together. And again, that we failed to run lower, and we broke structure to the upside. So at this point, we do have a valid break to the upside. Now that removes that area. Let's move across. I know in hindsight we can see what's happening, but this is then our last sell to buy move. Now again, look, you could say it's from this high to this low is your full demand zone. And that's why we just see price pulling back and then continue away, because that's the full zone. Now we do also have an area of imbalances here as well, but you could refine this all the way down to this zone here. And you can see that we have reaction, reaction, push away. Now we know it's going to be removed, that zone, but we can then identify, okay, we have another break of structure here. And now we potentially think we're going bullish. Okay, so we have this area of demand. There could be potential loss. Okay, like this could have been potential loss. You never know. And again, we actually just about closed that one as well. So we've actually closed that one and we've held this area here of supply. It's important to see where price is coming into. So we run straight through that area of demand. See, we break, there's your break of structure, okay? Where is our area of supply? Well, this is our high. So this becomes my area of supply. Where does market run back into? Runs back into that supply. And, okay, we don't quite run into this area of imbalance. So the supply is what actually holds price. Then what do? We break structure here. A very small break of structure. This becomes our actual area of supply. And we continue to run lower. So the market, okay, is then running this low as we then break structure here as well. So we drop, pull back. Now all we're doing is we're pulling back again into this area of imbalance. So our last, okay, buy to sell move is here. We just failed to pull into that, but look what we're coming into. Okay, we're coming into retest underneath this level. Now that is where the support and resistance traders are believing we're retesting from a broken support become resistance. That is not the way I teach it. Okay, not support and resistance. If you want to make sure you understand that concept, go back and watch the early videos in this playlist. It will teach you more on support and resistance versus the use of supply and demand. So look, the market drops down. We break structure once again. There's our last move we can draw. Now we do actually break out. Now this is where potentially we start having some losing trades. But when you're capturing these sort of trades from up here to downside, 1 or 2 losing trades, 1 or 2% loss when you're having some 3 to 4 risk reward trades. So you can see that we actually break structure, remove this area of supply. What is that going to create? It's going to create a new area of demand. So there's my last sell to buy move. That's all demand. We break up, we pull back in. We're expecting to run this high, it fails. So you could have called an entry in here on a lower time frame, but majority of the time you'll be out with some profit already, so it wouldn't be a full loss here. But the market does not run this high, and what we actually do is we run this low, so we have another break of structure. So we just run higher, pull back, lower high, run that low. So now that means we have a new high from this high. This is then going to be my area I'm going to draw of supply. We can see the market comes back into this imbalance, into that supply, and then we run lower. So you may have had a couple of losses there, perhaps on that reversal, but then you've caught this trade over here potentially for an awesome move to downside. So you can see the market breaks through, leaves this area here of supply. We just about test it. Let's just bring that down to the right area. Yeah, we test that area of supply, and also we go into this area of imbalance. Okay, we break structure once again. I know this video is being very, very repetitive, but this is how you learn, okay? We learn by going over and over and over that same concept. And that's why each of these videos would teach you step by step each and every concept. Now, this becomes my area of supply. Price doesn't quite come back. We come back into this area of imbalance when we sweep this high. Let me show you what I mean. So we make this low. We pull back, okay, we break structure. What do we create there? Create an area of supply, right? So we push through the supply, we don't close it. That's just a sweep, okay? Which means we can then still sell this market. Add a sweep into the area of imbalance. We also get that retest of that area as well. So we're still looking, we can trade this down. We don't get anything else there. So that's a valid sell we can take here out of that area of imbalance. We break structure again. Okay, this then creates this area here of supply. Market comes back into. We have across, we can start to see that eventually we break structure here to the upside. So this pullback, okay, we can see we've got a pullback internally as we go bullish. And yes, we can trade these pullbacks, okay? We can trade these counter trend moves. It's understanding how to with multiple time frames and with the use of swing and internal structures. So that area is removed. That means we have this low, we leave this area of demand. Then you can see this demand was actually react of this area. Now on the way up, okay, we do have more demand zones that you can draw. Okay, that held price. We have another rally-based rally area demand here. Price was held up there. And again, you can see price does come back into that zone. Okay, because this is a breakout. We don't break out again. This becomes our new high. This becomes our new breakout level. So the market does come back eventually into this area and hold this area of demand. We then are going to create a new area here. Now remember, these are origin zones. Okay, these are your best zones to be trading from. Yes, we create the last area here of demand. Okay, but look what happens. We come in, small push up, and we push through. And that's where you're going to take some losing trades. So be very cautious what zones you're going to trade from. Now we can also identify here. We have this push in. We have a sweep. Okay, we push up. We're expecting the market to go up to take out this high. We don't, we push back down, and we have another sweep of this low. Now you're going to see this type of price action, especially when the banks, institutions are looking to run those stops to push the market higher. It's going to bring in sellers. It's going to run the stops of potential buyers here already expecting this high to be run, and then it's going to continue on its way. Now look at this candlestick. We haven't really talked about entries or nothing on this video, but look at the candlestick formed here. What a candle after the sweep. Again here, look at the candle formed after the sweep. Yes, we could have got some good movements up here. Potentially could have been a break-even trade. Okay, some profits may have been taken on the way up, taking up this high, take out this high perhaps. But this would have been your entry for the main break of structure, understanding the use of candlesticks. So we do break out here. And again, there is your area of origin. Now it didn't come back, and this is our last rally-based rally zone where price does come back into. Now for me, price is not just coming into this area, it's coming into this zone, and it's holding up the 50% of the imbalance. That's why it's important to understand different concepts. Again, there's our next break of structure. Okay, so we break through, pull back, and we break through, and finally you can see we have this is our last sell to buy move. Okay, area here of demand. And we continue on its way. Now, if you want to join that absolutely free Telegram channel, there'll be a link popping up right now. And also don't forget, the next video in this supply and demand playlist will be popping up for you to go through to learn the concepts of a supply and demand liquidity trading strategy that I call the FSL.